You're listening to the Impact Implosion on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Is another episode of the Impact Implosion for November 22nd, 2015. As always, I am Seth Drake, and on the other end of the tin cannon string is Mike Poland.
Hello!
I was laughing at the end of that show, but let's talk TNA news.
At least we survived it, and there was no ISIS attack in Atlanta.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, that would have been the worst way to end that show, is if the feed just cut.
Yep.
So yes, news. TNA found a new home.
They've got Pop.
Yep.
So what's the betting odds on how long they last on this network?
Probably a year again.
Yeah.
So
8 months to a year before the network realizes, shit, we're not making any money off this product.
Shark Boy apparently stopped a sex offender.
If you want me to stop a sex offender, give me a shell, yeah.
Yeah.
Brooke Tessmacher is gone from TNA.
Yeah, she's retiring from wrestling, and so is Awesome Kong.
And is Awesome Kong.
Yeah.
I just read earlier today.
By the way, anyway, here's what happened. Shark Boy spotted a registered sex offender peeping through Shark Boy's neighbor's window, so he got the SOB. Yep.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the ocean.
Yep, yeah, Shark Boy don't appreciate that shit. By the way, TNA is blaming ROH for the ratings failures.
Yes, it couldn't be all the shitty storylines you've had during this run.
Yes, they
TNA
believed
versus DFW, the World Title Series, which we'll talk about later.
They believed they were getting to certain viewership goals, and then they decided to bring in ROH, and those viewership goals went. Because Destination America screwed them.
What was your viewership goal?
I don't know.
1.1.
Anyway, the viewership goal was would secure a multi-year deal with the network, but they didn't hit those goals, and when they were close to it, they thought that the stories of the cancellation started, and then Destination America decided to bring in ROH. The rumors made viewers think TNA was a lame duck product.
Damage control. When all else fails, blame the other product that's on the network.
Of course.
Not the fact that you've had shitty feuds except for a couple this year.
Not the fact that you've had the TNA, the World Title Series, go on weeks.
We'll get to that.
Weeks and weeks and weeks. By the way, that did win the Golden Turducken, in case you hadn't listened.
I haven't heard it yet.
Yes. Oh, I thought it's aired already. We posted it, so.
I will listen to it later this week.
It won the Golden Turducken.
Do we have any more news? Because let's get into 3 weeks' worth of Impact that we got to talk about then.
Well, Goldberg said TNA contacted him, but that's about it.
Goldberg, don't go to TNA.
But that's about it.
If you want one last run, wait for Triple H to throw some money at you.
Oh, wait, there was one more thing. I'm trying to find it, but there was one more thing that happened.
Are they in India this weekend?
In December, they'll be in India, I believe it is.
Supposed to do a one night only from there.
They're going to do the tapings of the semifinals and stuff there.
The tournament that... We'll get into it, but...
Oh, by the way, guess who was spotted at Full Sail University?
Austin Aries.
Yep, and James Storm was once again at the NXT taping, so basically he's made his choice.
I wonder if he will make it be on the London show. Any of the London shows.
Who knows? But yeah, let's get to these 3 shows that we've got. Let's start with the November 4th show. We started off with Pope JB running down the card, because as always they do.
Also a video package highlighting the previous week.
And we're like, last week, this TNA World Title Tournament crap continued, and I wanted 2 hours of my life back. Madison
you
Rain
definitely wanted after this show that we're about to talk about.
Madison Rain versus Brooke in a match that makes us want to know why. And then, still to come, Jeff Hardy fucked up his leg after winning the tag titles. What an idiot. And here comes Mrs. Josh Matthews to face off with the woman who has a booty, according to her theme song.
A very nice one, but in any event.
So Madden's like, I started a revolution here in the knockouts. I'm like, you started no such revolution.
You weren't even there when the knockout started. You came in later.
So TNA has had their knockouts division take credits for the successes of people like Ronda Rousey.
Nope.
No.
I don't
by
even
the way,
follow MMA, and I know that's bullshit. But anyway.
I like Madison Rain's pants, the silver ones. They were nice. And Brooke has an injured hand.
Apparently during the match with Gail Kim several weeks ago.
So Madison Rain climbed up to the second turnbuckle during this match to go right off it and then hit a clothesline.
Yep.
It was like a botched spot. So Madison Rain won with her finisher.
Yes.
Now all the knockouts have 3 points.
That was the only point of this match.
Yep.
Next.
EY sees the camera and is mad that they want to talk to him.
It's their job. Why are you mad?
Yeah. He is the best and everyone cheats him. And he gets so close to the camera, man, that you wonder if he's going to kiss him.
It's the kiss cam.
Yes. We had to have a montage that we showed last week to hype up Bobby Roode versus Eric Young.
Yep, that's later.
So then Eric Young gets the jobber entrance against Bram, who... actually, no, Bram got the jobber entrance.
Yes, well, they talk about everything else.
Yes.
Until Bram gets out there.
Oh, Bram is already out there.
By the way.
No, they talk about everything else during Spud's entrance, but then I'm like, Bram's already in the fucking ring. What the fuck?
Whoops.
So Bram wins with the brighter side of suffering. They get the 3 points. So I guess they went with the Bram victory from the tapings.
Good.
They talked to Bobby Roode, and he's like, I don't care that Eric Young is looking for me.
Yeah.
And Josh tried to say that Roode-Young was one of the most talked about rivalries in 2015. I'm like, it's only that in the way is again with this feud.
And that's probably one of the few good feuds you've had this year.
Then still to come, Jeff Hardy talks about being a terrible as a referee in Bound for Glory.
Which we already know about, but in any event.
And then it's time for Skater Boy Mark Andrews versus Masked Man Manic. He's just a skater boy. We said see you later, boy. Oh, God. I can't believe I made that reference, but I didn't even know I was making that reference until you just made that. God damn it. I tried to block that song out of my memories. It's a terrible song. So anyways, TNA keeps trying to have us follow Dixie Carter on Twitter. I'm not doing it, so stop telling me to. And Manic and Andrews, for whatever reason, decided to start fucking around and just not have a good match.
Not good.
No, that's what I'm saying. Manic wins with his Death Valley driver into a Pele kick to get 6 points.
I don't like that finish.
I was about to say he is advancing and Andrews is basically fucked, but we'll get into that.
We'll get to that when we get to the third show.
Yeah. Oh, boy. So, Davey and Eddie think they will beat each other. Next, Jeff Hardy talks. Actually, no, next, Eric Young is just standing in the hallways. Then we go to the Jeff Hardy interview. He talks about the idiotic bump onto the steps. Then, Jeff points out, like I was agree, Jeff Hardy was TNA Tag Team Champion on that same week. He messed up his leg with the dirt bike stunt. So I said, yeah, on the same week, you basically fucked up your leg on a stupid stunt. And he makes no apologies for doing that.
You messed up a storyline, Jeff.
Yep, no apologies.
You're an idiot.
So, more to come. Will Jeff have any regrets?
Leaving WWE because of his drug problems.
I know. So it's time for the Wolves to fight each other, and
this is the only good match of this particular show.
Here, I would say that, but there's one problem. You know, this is supposed to be a match play match for the World Title Series. You guys do not need to be doing wrestling exhibition out there. You need to wrestle.
Yes,
Act like you want to win this match instead of wanting to put on a good match.
Well, to be fair, Eddie doesn't have any points. Davey only has 1 point. Neither one of them is going any further, pretty much.
No, neither of them had 0 points at this. Both of them had 0 points at this point.
Didn't Davey?
No, this was the draw. This was the draw.
Okay.
The Wolves. Pope called the Wolves the greatest tag team in pro wrestling. No. They're a great tag team.
They're not the Road Warriors. They're not the. They're not. They might be the greatest team of this last decade, but I don't think they're not in the League of the Dudleys, the Hardys, or the Road Warriors, or the Steiners, or teams like that.
Okay. Then Jeff Hardy. Then 5 minutes in the time limit are still remaining, and the Wolves are still doing spots, not desperation moves. They are just doing spots. Like the time doesn't matter.
It reminds me of like a WCW TV title match from like the early '90s, pretty much. Like a pay-per-view TV title match where they go to the 15 minutes and the commentators are like, they need to do something big. They've only got this amount of time left.
And they don't do anything. They don't. They just keep going, and you're like, guys,
do something.
Do something, man. This absolutely tells me that this in no way was planned, the World Title Series.
They just
from the
kind of
tapings.
stumbled into it.
Yeah. 2 minutes left, no urgency. 1 minute left, we're getting a draw. And Wolves draw, no shock, because they were still trying to wait for the other one to get up so they can do their moves. So yeah, both of them were giving each other props, and I was like, dear God, I know this is supposed to be a good match, but the storytelling absolutely was terrible.
Yep.
Part 2 of the interview, Jeff shows remorse for losing the tag titles only because his brother was alone in doing it.
Not because you're an idiot.
You believed in Matt, Jeff, and he let you down. They talking about that whole
that's a way to spin it.
Tyrus watches Sesame Street, which is breaking news, apparently.
Tyrus is Big Bird.
I know. So Jeff doesn't even apologize for being a shitty ref at Bound for Glory. He says, I would do it again. And I'm like, oh my God. He regrets that the injunction happened. And it's now the injunction settlement was Jeff couldn't be in the World Title Series. Even though he wasn't going to anyway. Because he's hurt. So, yeah, basically, this interview, God, Jeff did not do himself any favors. Rude confronts Eric Young about his plans to attack him. And Eric Young says,
this segment.
I already hit you because I'm getting in your head.
He's psyching him out.
But if that's what you were going to do...
Why did you say you were going to attack him?
Yeah, that's the point.
Say I'm going to get in your head.
Okay. This whole swiping thing TNA does where they swipe is stupid.
Gotta swipe to the left.
Yeah, swipe to the left or the right. So
yeah, it's
Josh
it's a time-wasting segment.
And all it does is make Pope look like he wants to kill Josh for being a prick. Then it's time for Kenny King.
You're asking me questions. How dare you? You're doing your job.
No, you're not just asking him questions, being a prick about it. And saying, go wait your freaking time and stuff. And then, anyway. So Kenny King is going to carry She-Ra to a decent match. And, by the way, Kenny King does his interview backstage, and he calls She-Ra the Princess of Power.
Is he He-Man?
She-Ra. Yes, he did it. Fans are cheering Kenny King.
Because She-Ra was still a heel here.
So fans are cheering Kenny King over She-Ra, and
they should.
Yes, they should. So we have this one spot on the outside where Kenny King goes to try to dive onto She-Ra. She-Ra doesn't catch him, so Kenny King just lands on him, and She-Ra falls like a goof.
He is a goof. He's uncoordinated and immobile.
So Pope's like, She-Ra isn't dancing here. He must take it serious. I'm like, She-Ra isn't dancing because this was taped while he was still Koya.
Yep.
And he won with the Sky High. And the question needs to be asked, are you sure you want to push this guy, TNA?
Luckily, I don't think he's going to actually win the whole tournament.
No, he's not. He's not.
Which is good.
But time for the main event as Eric Young takes on Bobby Roode. And I actually gave this match, this was probably the best match of the night for me, but at the end of the day, Eric Young used the ref shield to distract Roode and hit the pile driver to the win. Okay, best match of the night, but that lousy freaking finish.
Yep. That finish, though.
That finish. Jeez, really? So, D+.
And they did it again on the third show we'll talk about with Young and Storm.
Yeah.
What was the grade?
I gave it a D+.
D+, okay. I was going to say, yeah, probably about that. Davey and Eddie could have been much better.
Absolutely.
They've had better matches.
They've had better.
Seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. They had better match if they had better matches. So then we had week 6, and first Madison Rayne talks about her training for Gail Kim, and we get fucking Ninja
segment.
Queen.
This segment. Horribly stereotypical.
You know, when I do Kabuki Taker,
it's a joke.
It's a joke. And it's irony that it's racist. It's supposed to be ironic. So,
This is just racist.
This is just racist. This is ironic because of her whole entrance and the and her little dong entrance because it sounds Kabuki-like. That's why I call her Kabuki Taker. So, Ninja Queen with her little bush where everyone sees her and just goes, what the hell? I'm hiding behind a bush.
Where's R.D. Reynolds to write a column about this segment?
Oh, God, so...
Terrible.
Yes. So, half sloppy head scissors in the corner from Gail onto Madison. I don't know who screwed that one up more. And here's another stupid point. Madison has this match win by countout. She hasn't won. She breaks the count.
And
so
Hope pointed that out. Like she had it won.
Yeah, Pope and Josh are pointing this out. Absolutely pointing this out. So, anyways, this screws up everything. Madison Rayne goes for the Rainmaker. Gail Kim reverses into a roll-up and wins. Gail advances.
What's the Rainmaker?
I think it's some, it's like the famous, not the famouser, but, the franchiser, whatever franchise did in WCW, but
it
was
the Barbie Crusher that Roxy used to do when she was there?
Yeah, I think it's that. But yeah, anyway, Gail advances, Madison is eliminated. This match was full of holes and sloppy. I cannot say this match was good.
Full of holes and sloppy.
Yeah,
There's a joke in there somewhere. But I'm not touching it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there is a hole in there. But you know what I mean when I say that. So, anyways, up next we interview Matt Hardy. Even though he has a match later on in the night, and he probably wants to focus on that instead. So
we'll get into another Matt Hardy interview later that I think is pretty much going to set up the finals of the tournament. But we'll get to that.
Matt, you want a Beautiful People's T-shirt? Me, no.
Maybe in 2008.
So Josh and Pope are interviewing Matt from the CGI Dome. And Matt Hardy's like, dude, I was freaking trending. And I'm like, no, you weren't. Stop letting Josh
Nobody in that product is trending.
Yeah, except when they are, and then you don't talk about it. Yeah, so Matt Hardy looks like he is a warehouse because there are noises behind him, like construction noises.
Shooting a horror movie.
I know.
Someone's coming up behind you.
So, seriously, who the hell is this sound person? That's all I could think about Matt Hardy during most of this thing was, who's the sound guy? Needs to be removed.
Fire, sound guy.
So, Matt says he wants to face EC3 one-on-one. He absolutely does. And I'm like, no, you don't. Every time you have, he's beaten you. One-on-one.
This time I'll win.
This time I'll win, for sure. So, time for Hedrake versus Jesse Goddard's heel versus heel.
I like this because it was two heels trying to out-heel each other.
Yes. And Jesse Goddard enters the ring, and the commentators talk about the way they eat their crab legs.
Who cares?
I was seriously like, what? Jesse says he will be on cereal boxes, right?
Just like John Cena.
So, yeah. And I'm like, no, you won't.
And Eli Drake will be on milk cartons.
So both men at this point are trying to out-heal each other. They are equals in being jerks. Justin points out, you won't believe who showed up at the TNA offices. And I'm like, I know who it is, and it's not a surprise.
Oh, wait, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. And here is, Pope says that in the back, Drake called himself the future Prince of Eternia.
We already had a reference in the last show.
Yes. And Josh doesn't even know what that means.
How old are you, Josh Matthews?
You know what the fuck that means, Josh. You just can't put two and two together. That it's a He-Man reference. That with the freaking vest. With the vest and stuff. He is the future Prince of Eternia. It makes... Okay, Drake won. And basically with his foot on the ropes, both men cheated, so ultimately Eli Drake won the fair battle.
Who can out-cheat the other? The battle of the heels.
So...
ROH did the same thing this past week.
And then we got a spoiler that it was EC3 who invaded the TNA headquarters because he is just there to hand-deliver his check for a fine for pushing over Big John at EC3.
In other words, it's not a big deal. You don't need to focus on it.
Next, and in probably one of the worst time wasters out there, the World Title Series Awards.
Because why?
I don't know. So basically, surprise was Shira. I think there's other things. That biggest disappointment is James Storm. So they buried him.
The guy who left the company already.
Yep. Yep. They had to bury him because they know he ain't coming back now.
All right.
So time for Matt Hardy versus Eddie Edwards. By the way, Matt Hardy said he would still fight this match.
This is good. This is pretty good.
Yeah, it was. Josh, stop saying Matt valiantly relinquished the title. He had no choice because he won it via chicanery.
Yep.
The finisher was actually excellent. Matt Hardy got a twist of fate off the top rope.
Yep.
And Matt wins. Eddie Edwards is eliminated. Matt Hardy is undefeated.
Yep, and he'll move on to the next round.
And here we go with EC3 hand-delivering the mail to TNA headquarters. And Dixie's like, I didn't rob you of your title.
Yes,
you
you did.
screwed Yes, you did. You booked that.
I've heard of a delusional heel, but never a delusional face.
Yes.
Or whatever she's supposed to be.
Oh, well, you got Matt Hardy in this company, so you got two delusional faces.
And Jeff Hardy.
Oh, God. Well, Jeff Hardy, I think I could blame on the drugs. And
Hardy, I'm not sure.
And him just being an idiot, period, taking all those high bumps and stuff.
Oh, God, Jeff Hardy.
Oh, God. So, anyway, DJZ versus Mark Andrews. In Andrews' last match. Yes. So, basically, the story here is Mark Andrews took too long, and he went for a shooting star press. Z got the knees and rolled him up for the win. And
we have a three-way tie in the X Division bracket.
Not yet. Not yet. We have one more match to go.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yep.
So DJZ has 6 points. And with Manic 6 points, they say next week if Manic beat Tigre Uno's out.
Yep.
But if Tigre Uno wins, we got a tie.
Yep.
So then we had TNA show a Shira training montage. And these montages were good. This training montage was good. Problem is, Shira's green as grass. So
and he can't talk.
I know. So yeah, you're just.
He talks worse than Lashley.
So they talk to Eric. EY says something about it, and Josh Matthews says something about Eric One. EY says, "I would hurt Josh Matthews if he was an active wrestler." And I'm like, why does that stop you?
I'm gonna say you probably would.
Please.
Just drop him.
Please.
We'll get Mike Tenay back in the booth.
Please pile drive him through the floor. Please.
We can get Mike Tenay back in the booth.
Then we had an earlier tonight moment where TNA screws the Future 4, screwing the future, between Micah and Crimson, and Micah won.
Because we don't have enough time to air this in full because we talk too much.
We got interviews and stuff. We talk too much. So anyway, EC3's cutting a promo on Mr. Anderson from India in 2 weeks. And breaking news, the semifinals of the World Title Series will take place in Mumbai, India.
Mumbai!
So then we have Drew Galloway cut a promo from his chair at his home in Scotland. And all I could think was, nice chair.
Yep. Next.
It's actually a really nice chair. Really nice chair. Looks comfortable. So we got a video package of EC3 versus Anderson, and it's EC3 winning at every turn.
Yep.
And then it's like, Mr. Anderson looks to play spoiler to EC3's run at Group Champions. Can he do it? The answer will surprise you. Not. So, our predictable match where the result was never in doubt is our main event. Tyrus apparently listens to Cobra Kai as he sweeps the leg of Mr. Anderson. Josh dishes EC3 for not knowing what the independents are when you don't. He's dissing Mr. Anderson for not knowing when the independents. I'm like, I wouldn't do that. You don't know what Eternia is. Mr. Anderson overshoots a Kenton bomb, but the announcers try to say he connected.
Of course.
Mr. Anderson does a Lambo leap, only gets a 2 count, because Tyrus dragged EC3 out of the ring. Earl is pissed at Tyrus for getting involved, but he keeps arguing with him, and Anderson just hits Tyrus with the chair. And Earl is okay with Anderson hitting Tyrus with a chair.
Holy lenient officiating, Batman.
Yeah. So EC3 wins with a jackknife roll-up.
Yes.
And EC3 is guaranteed to advance. I'm going to be a little nicer. I think I gave this C-. I might have to change that.
Right.
It's really close on that one. So then we have the final battle, the final impact, the final DVR impact. And it was this time that I learned that they were going to Pop TV after that DVR, watching the DVR show, and I checked. I have it on HD.
I have it as well.
So, not going to...
a company that won't die lives another year.
Yep. Live from the CGI Hive, it is Pope and Josh with the World Title Series again.
Apparently they're also going to tape some Impact from New York, by the way. We missed that in the news.
Oh, yeah. They want to tape in New York again. It didn't work last time, guys.
I think that's going to be after the UK set of tapings they do at the end of January.
It's going to be after the Mumbai and UK settings, yeah. So, Brooke versus Awesome Kong. Considering
you didn't know what this was going to be.
News, we knew who was winning this matchup.
Yep.
And then I was like, this girl's got a booty, and you're never going to see it again. Crowd is rooting for Brooke. Sorry, crowd. TNA isn't on your side. Brooke is selling her finger injuries from the match against Gail Kim, and she flips off Awesome Kong, but they blur it. Destination American decided to blur it.
Yep.
Josh tries to say that the World Title Series is trending worldwide. It wasn't. Now, Pop TV, when they required TNA, that trended. So, yes, your shit doesn't trend, but Pop TV, when they require you, that's trending.
Except probably because nobody knows half the people don't know what Pop TV is.
Yeah. So, Brooke hits her finisher called the Butterface Maker, and it doesn't work. Gets 2 count.
The Brooke factor.
And then, in probably the dumbest move you would expect, Brooke tries to back suplex Awesome Kong. It goes as well as you expected. Which is, Brooke gets her up, but Awesome Kong flattens her immediately.
Whoops.
So Awesome Kong
That didn't work.
hits her with a choke slam and is advancing. So Brooke's gone. And since Awesome Kong's also going to be retiring, she's probably losing in the first round. The second round of knockout.
Yes.
So, yeah. Yes. So, Matt is saying that his group was the best group. I came out of the best group possible, and EC3 is rightfully to tell him to say, I was on a group called Group Champions.
Yep.
Seriously. Matt, you're the only one in your group who was world champion? No, you're not in the best group. And so EC3 keeps owning him in this segment, and EC3 has to act like a child in the end and just say, so anyway, Matt was like, how dare you question my integrity? I'm like, your integrity was rightfully questioned.
And from this segment,
he says
it has to be clear that Matt and EC3 are probably going to be the ones built up for the finals.
Yes, it must be him who beats EC3 and ends that streak. Boo! Who? So Pope tells EC3 that Matt Hardy must be the favorite, and EC3's like, really? So then he just says, you know what, I'm done with this interview. Matt, I'll see you never. But yells it. See you never!
Yeah.
So EY is threatening James Storm not to show up or he will hurt him.
Yeah.
And then the burying of him continues as EY calls Storm a shell of his former self and nothing compared to him.
Uh-huh.
So then they talked about the idea of a playoff if Manic wins, and it was at this point I fucking realized where they were going with this. Because I remember the tapings. Because Tigre Uno won this match against Manic, so they all have 6 points. And oh dear fucking God, I knew where this was going. And sure enough, they announced next week the reverse triple threat elimination match is happening.
Oh, that's what this is.
Yes. But they try to basically sell it, not by calling it that. They say, okay, it's a triple threat match. One man pins, he gets to leave because he's already eliminated.
The next man pinned is eliminated.
No, the next man pinned is eliminated. But the man who wins, the first man who wins this match, he gets to leave because he's already advanced. So yeah, reverse triple threat elimination match. Whoopee! Yes, we are doing this next week. Thanksgiving, this will be part of the Impact. Yeah, so
well, at least if you eat enough turkey, you might fall asleep during it.
Yeah. James Storm versus Eric Young. One of these guys is in NXT. Oh, actually, no. It is Thursday. Isn't it?
No, it is Wednesday.
Wednesday! My bad. My God. I'm bad at this.
We've only been on Wednesday for the last 6 months.
Yes. I forgot SmackDown is on Thursday. This show feels sometimes like it's on Thursday. I watch it on Thursday.
Yeah.
Except this week, I will probably watch it on Wednesday. Hopefully. James Storm versus Eric Young. One of these guys is in NXT now, so you know who's winning.
And they did the same finish that they did in Young versus Rude.
Eric Young threatens to punch a kid in the front row with cat ears. Did you see that?
I missed that, but that sounds like Eric Young.
Eric Young does the thing where he puts his fists in the air, and the kid has cat ears in the front row, and I'm like, Eric Young, oh my God. Eric Young, you are about to punch a kid with cat ears. What is wrong with you, man?
A number of things.
I'm sure Eric was doing his thing, and as soon as he saw the kid with cat ears, he's like, God damn it. This is going to look ridiculous.
Could have been worse. It could have been mouse ears.
I know, but yeah, you could tell as soon as he saw the kid, he's like, shit.
Son of a bitch.
This looks... I'm trying to do my thing, but God damn it, you ruined it, kid. So anyway, most of the matches basically made out to seem like Eric Young is beating James Storm in squash, But then they allow Storm to get a flurry of offense. Hits the eye of the Storm for a 2 count. EY tried to pin Storm with his feet on the ropes, only gets a 2 count. And then Eric Young does his whole pushing the ref out of the way while the ref's there. After that, EY low blows him and hits the pile driver to defeat James Storm. EY advances, and James Storm is eliminated.
How about your damn fuck, Mr. Storm?
Well, Storm's like, fuck it. I'm going to better places. So then we got time to rejoin Matt Hardy.
Oh, God, I remember Matt Hardy.
And Matt Hardy is gloating about winning the triple threat match. And even though he forgets to mention it was under suspicious circumstances.
Suspicious minds.
Yep. So next up is a very green Mahabali Shera versus the fake Irish brawler Aiden O'Shea. I had a bad feeling about this match, and yes, Shera was doing his stupid fucking dancing. And yes, during this match, Josh Matthews has the fucking gall. Josh Matthews. My bad, I'm being like Mike Adamley here. Josh Matthews has the fucking gall to call what WWE is doing. There are other companies out there who are copycatting us.
Except their tournament is actually going to lead to something. You don't even have a pay-per-view to blow it off on.
Here's the thing, Josh. They're doing an actual tournament. You're doing
a
match play thing and then tournament. WWE is doing this
stuff just because you have time to kill.
Yes, you are doing this because you had a shit ton of matches and with no idea how to book them together. WWE had to do an actual tournament because their champion got hurt.
You didn't have to throw it together within 2 to 3 weeks.
They had to do it. They had to do it. You didn't have to do this whole world title series.
You just happen to have matches in the can that you take that you're like, we don't know what to do with this.
So let's do this whole. Let's have Matt Hardy win and then this whole.
Confuse our audience into this whole clusterfuck of a tournament.
Yes,
4 months.
You did this. You chose this shit. WWE didn't choose it. They just we're like, fuck, we got to do this. So anyway, Shera wins with the Sky High and is guaranteed to advance out of Group Wildcard.
Ugh.
And EY says his crazy eyes are the eyes of a winner.
The eyes of the winner are upon you.
So then we get Group Future 4 as Hedrake takes on Crimson. If Hedrake wins, he advances.
Not bad. I didn't like the finish, though.
Yeah, Crimson got the jobber entrance, so you knew it was winning. And
Greg's got a good look to him.
I'll say this about Eli Hedrake. He worked on the shoulder through most of the match, so the standing armbar submission kind of made sense.
Yeah.
It was awkward, because that normally doesn't finish it, but it kind of made sense.
Right.
So, by the way, during this match, EC3 tried to do his interview. I'm like, we're in the middle of a match, man. Hold on.
Jumping the gun there, buddy.
Yeah. So EC3 comes back and he's like, I am not okay now, but I will be when I eliminate Matt Hardy from the World Title Series. And they're like, well, you're obsessed with Matt Hardy, obviously. I'm not obsessed with Matt Hardy. I am upset with beating him so bad he never wrestles again. So then you say, well, who do you think's going to win between Aries and Franklin here? And he's like, I don't care. So
I beat them both. Why would I care?
Yeah, why would I care? Well, no. If I had 5 more seconds, I would have beaten Aries, and I beat Franklin twice.
Fine nefarious means, but in any event.
So, main event time as Bobby Roode takes on Abyss. So yes, again, Abyss does the same shit that makes no sense in this world match play. He brings in a steel chair. It's illegal, and they point this out that if he hits this, it's a disqualification, and Roode wins.
Abyss is a moron.
And Roode is a moron for just letting him not hit him. And then they say it's only a DQ if Abyss basically says, well, if he uses the chair in the ring, it's a DQ. And I'm like, so you basically say it's only a DQ if he uses it in the ring.
What?
What? Yeah, seriously. He basically said if he uses that chair in the ring, it's a DQ. And I'm like, it's a DQ outside the ring, too. The ref sees it, it's a
writing this
DQ.
rule book?
I know. So Rude tries to chokeslam Abyss. It does not work.
Yeah, that works.
So then Abyss tries to chokeslam Rude. Rude puts him in the crossface with Josh Cole's an armbar.
Josh.
I was like, you failed, Josh. You fucking fail. So then Abyss gets a chokeslam, hits a 2 count. Gets 2 count. Abyss then brings in Janice. The weapon
Jeez, I wonder what happens here.
he hits Rude with, he will get DQ'd. But of course,
never hit anybody with it, though.
No, if you have a shirt, he might hit it, but Rude doesn't have a shirt on, so nope. So typical shit happens. Janice hits the turnbuckle instead and gets stuck. Rude hits Abyss with the spine buster and gets the win. Rude advances out of the group, and this match is over. This gets I have not gotten. No, we got one more. This show is over, and this match is over, but we got one more week of this goddamn World Title Series match. No, we have the triple threat match. We have Micah versus Jesse Goddard.
Yep.
We have Robbie E versus Davey Richards. We have.
This is next week.
Yeah, next week's probably the last week, I think.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, next week's the last week, I believe. So, anyway, yeah, I gave this show a D. This was worse than the last 2 weeks. This was worse than the last 2 weeks. Before that, this was just bad.
Tanking.
This show is just in freaking limbo, and sometimes the wrestling's good, but then sometimes it has gone. It's just bad, especially the matches. They don't have any storyline, and I do like a good match, but I do also want a storyline too, in a way. I do want to be compelled to watch these matches, compelled to be interested in these matches.
Yep.
It's not good. TNA needs to realize that, to stop doing this whole bullshit. So that's 3 weeks of TNA down the shitter. And we've got maybe one more of this World Title Series to go, hopefully. Hopefully they don't break this down to 2 more weeks. To a second week. Yeah. Hopefully this is it. Next week's it.
Yep.
And then we can get on to the group play and then maybe some storylines.
Yep.
Because Lord knows we need that.
Yep.
Yep.
Until then...
Well, actually, do you have anything to sell?
Not this week, you?
This coming Saturday, I will be releasing the Monster Crap production of Snow Shark.
Ooh, what's that?
That is a 2011 independent film that is shot pretty terribly, and the effects are pretty terrible.
Ooh.
It is boring, and its biggest offense, it is boring as hell. So I did the poll, and I did basically to ask, which film do you want to see me do this December? And here are the nominees. Jack Frost, 1964. Who would have known?
Oh, it's not the remake with Michael Keaton?
It's not the one with Michael Keaton, and it's not the Killer Snowman, which I already did. Who would have thought that there was more than one terrible Jack Frost film? Well, everyone, obviously, but did you know there was a terrible...
horrible Christmas movies, have you seen the one they've been advertising about, the weird one they've been advertising lately that's coming out?
What weird one?
What it's called. I don't remember what it's called, but I've seen the advertisements like during Raw.
Well, if you're talking about Krampus, that one's fucking awesome.
Really?
That one looks fucking awesome, yeah. It's from the guy who did Trick or Treat.
Okay, I might have to check that out then. It just looks weird.
It's about the have you ever heard of Krampus?
No.
It is a German belief that there is Santa gives all the kids good wishes, but there is also a Krampus, or in some places in Mexico there is a Black Peter, but in Germany he's called Krampus. And you get, if it's basically the same thing, but if you're naughty, you get warned 1 week, and the next week he's coming to kill you or take you away.
Oh, something evil guy's the boogeyman.
It's the evil Santa Claus version. It's the evil version of Santa Claus that gets the bad people.
Oh, so that's what that movie is. Okay, I'm going to have to check that out.
Bunch of people who are terrible and basically have lost the Christmas spirit are getting the payback.
Okay, go back to your nominations.
So anyway, this Jack Frost film, did you know that there was a terrible Jack Frost that is not exclusive to the 90s? And it's from freaking Russia.
Oof.
Black Christmas 2006 remake. The original is a classic slasher film done a year before Halloween and directed by the man who would later direct A Christmas Story. The remake tries to use gore and colors to color up for a film that is lifeless with characters that are unlikable. The Day the Earth Froze, 1959.
Well, global warming is true. That might happen again someday soon.
This is another film from Russia, kind of. Everyone wants that damn Sampo, which is basically something that can turn anything into, can create wheat, gold, whatever, so they can prosper. And evil witches are even willing to steal the sun and turn the world into a dark, freezing nightmare for the device that is the ultimate deus ex machina in life. And this poster wants you to believe that there is terror, even though this film isn't even a horror film, even close to it.
But it sounds horrible.
It is. Boa from 1990. Welcome to New Alcatraz in Antarctica, where all you have to fear is the weather, the small security led by Dean Cain, and the terrifying CGI snake that some moron dug out of the ice.
Oh, God.
Ice Spiders from 2007. I don't think I really need to explain how bad this film is and how it belongs on Monster Crap. Just look at the title.
Ice Spiders.
Yep. The Thaw from 2009. The ice has thawed out some terribly CGI parasitic bugs that were deep inside a dead woolly mammoth. Oh, and we get to see how far Val Kilmer's career has sunken since the days when he was Batman.
I didn't even know he was still making movies.
Oh, he's absolutely still making movies. Blood Glacier, 2014. You are watching a film that's so badly to be like John Carpenter's The Thing, but ultimately fails in the end with its execution.
Yep.
Frostbiter, Wrath of the Wendigo, 1996. Made in 1988, but released in 1996, Frostbiter is a strange film that involves a deer-like monstrosity with the Wendigo and a scene with campers dealing with demons made out of chili. Oh, and it stars one of the guitarists for Iggy Pop's band, The Stooges. The Santa Claus 2.
The Tim Allen Santa Claus?
Yes, second one. Tim Allen returns to the sequel to the film that probably should have just been one installment instead of the trilogy that was made. In this film, Santa Claus has to find a Mrs. Claus and then deal with his robotic doppelganger who has determined that everyone is naughty. Something Futurama did so much better.
Of course.
And then finally, The Boogans, 1981. What are you going to do when turtle-like monsters from the mines come to eat you? I don't know, but it will definitely be something very cheesy.
Oh, God.
It's a close race right now between three films. One of them is leading. Two of them are down behind by one vote. So, yeah. And the voting ends this Saturday when I post that next induction.
Uh-huh.
So, with all that said and done, I took Miley out before we got here. So, good night.
We hope you have a good Thanksgiving. Good night, everyone.
And you too.